Good day, Paris. Glad to have everybody join us on this crisp, cool afternoon. I'm here joined studio with Terry.
Hi, Patrick.
Good to have you aboard.
To be here.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Yep. Ready to kick off another great episode of Good Day Paris. Today's going to be a jam-packed episode, and I promise you, there's going to be some entertaining, informative discussions taking place.
And a few surprises, huh?
And maybe a surprise or two. Starting with Paris Has Got Talent. This is an idea, an opportunity that we've had about what all do people have amazing talents in. Maybe you can straighten somebody's back and get it all worked out. Or maybe you can tap dance. I would love to see tap dancing take place. Maybe you're good at, I don't know, comedy, singing. Spoons. I do want to see spoons.
I want to see that.
I want to see, somebody surely knows how to play the spoons.
Somebody's got to be able
But
to.
we'd like to showcase the talents of the people in Paris, Henry County, Carroll, Weakley, the surrounding areas. And you can make your submissions to us at gooddayparistn@gmail.com. Any and all takers at this point. So we'll be looking forward to those submissions hopefully, and be deciding on whether or not we're going to have Paris Has Got Talent.
I'm sure there's plenty of people out there, so send in your letters to us. We want to see what you've got.
Yeah. Today's show, though, we're going to be talking with our state representative, Tandy Darby, and we're going to be talking with the candidate for state representative in the 79th district, Brock Martin, will be in studio, and we'll be talking about the constitutional amendments, UT football, maybe what's going on with the Ford plant down around Brownsville. Are we going to see any benefits from that, or are we going to see any growth or anything from that facility way up here in Paris? And might do a few other things. So, Terry?
Yeah?
I'm going to let you give the announcements.
All right. Well, you know, October is almost over, but there's still plenty to do in Paris. And the Henry Volunteer Fire Department with Blazing Demons is still busy scaring people. Open every Friday and Saturday, 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. every weekend in October, including the 28th through the 31st. They'll be sure to get your heart pumping. They're all ready and are waiting to make your nightmares come true. So come out, have some fun and scares, and support your local Henry Volunteer Fire Department. All proceeds will support the Henry Volunteer Fire Department. The City of Paris Parks Department will be holding Spooktacular at the Eiffel Tower Park on October 29th. There'll be contests, games, candy, and a choice of 2 trails to walk. Fun for the entire family. And another great and successful Noon on the Square. Last week with Johnny Mack was amazing. I was there sitting on the stairs watching him. It was so much fun. He has so much talent. And this Friday will follow right along in those footsteps. Bring your chairs for the Ray Lewis Band. They'll be rocking the square, so don't miss them, starting at 11:30. Immediately following at 614 North Poplar Street, there will be a lunch and learn brought to you by the Heritage Center, a tribute to hometown unsung heroes whose selfless actions of bravery and sacrifice made for extraordinary contributions. That's this Friday, noon, and please RSVP to the director at phchc.com, or you can call 731-642-1030. A donation of $15 to $25 is invited. And now don't forget about the special offer still going on at the Parisian Movie Theater too. Every Monday in October and November, admission will only be $5. That's a great deal and way too good to pass up. And don't forget to send us an email if there's an event that you want others to know about, or have a suggestion for a guest, or just to tell us how we're doing. Send them to gooddayparistn@gmail.com. And while you're at it, start sending in your best Halloween costume pictures so we can show them on the air right here at Good Day Paris. So that's it for this week, and back over to you, Patrick.
All
Let the
right.
fun begin.
Yay, surprise! Look at here. Yay, we've got some activities today, and I am joined over here on set. To my left here is our state representative, Tandy Darby from Greenfield. Thanks for being here today, Tandy.
Thanks for the invitation,
Yeah,
Patrick.
and over here to my right is our candidate for state representative to the south of us in the 79th District, Mr. Brock Martin from
Thank you.
Huntington.
Huntington, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thanks for being in studio.
Well, thank you for having us on here. Look
Yeah.
forward to this. First time to run for a campaign and first time to paint pumpkins on TV.
Hey,
so there we go.
I was trying to think of a way to where we could talk constitutional amendments that didn't just cause the paint to literally, peel. So I thought we'd work on doing our little artistic skills here, and then we can mix in a little commentary about what's going on across the districts and constitutional stuff. So but first, what about that? There was a football game played, at least one on Saturday. What about that game, that UT-Alabama game? That was back and forth. I thought at first Tennessee had it in the bag.
Yeah. Well, I watched from the couch, so I think Tandy's got a better perspective. He was actually at the game, I believe, right?
We were at the game, the kids with Tess and Edie.
Yeah.
They had a deal for the Lady Vols and the Vols men's team at Market Square Thursday night. And then Saturday morning they scrimmaged before the big game.
Okay.
So it was great to be there, and whether I'd been on the couch or seen it in person, the best football game I'd ever seen.
It was great.
It was. And before we was there at the Lady Vol tailgate, and the kids came up and said, "Dad, we got a question. What do we need to do if we win? Are you going to say anything if we go to the field?" And I said, first thing, I said, "What did Coach Kelly say?"
Yeah.
They all laughed. They said, "Coach Kelly said that she regrets in '98 that she didn't go on the field because she was worried about what Pat Head Summit was going to say."
Yeah.
So she doesn't give them their blessing. And then I said, "I'm good with it, but the main thing, when that goalpost comes down,
Yeah.
it's coming down in a hurry.
Yeah.
I don't want to see y'all on the 10 o'clock news and be a downer for everybody because y'all's heads busted underneath the goalpost."
Good advice from a loving dad.
They
and
took my
UT
advice.
fans.
Yes.
Oh man, they were taking everything though, weren't they? That wasn't bolted down. They were
Whatever they could grab on some pictures.
memorabilia all over the place.
You couldn't see the field. I mean,
No,
there
you
was that
couldn't.
many people on the field. I don't know what was taken underneath because all you seen was people. Yeah, I heard
think
that there was some squares gone in the end zone.
Yeah, and I wonder what everybody's going to do with all that grass. It's going to be transplanted all across the state of Tennessee, I would imagine.
And that's what floored me, that they threw the goalpost in the Tennessee
In
River.
the Tennessee River.
6-inch segments or what they could have gone for. I figured a fraternity would have been. You'd have seen it on eBay here the last few days, but I hadn't seen anything.
Wow, that would be something to have, because that'd be the ultimate part, because they were talking about tearing those goalposts down way ahead of the game. They said if we win, it wasn't a matter of are we going to tear them down. If we win, they're coming down.
It was the first time. You're always afraid of Tennessee getting jinxed, but all week it was excitement of Tennessee's going to win. This is what's going to happen. And we were talking right beforehand. I was amazed at how many people had cigars. Everybody you saw, they were everywhere. People were bringing them out of pockets.
Yeah.
Every person on Facebook had a cigar. Everywhere in Tennessee were smoking them. But
Yeah.
they were well prepared to win that game. So I think that's a testament to the coach. He had the team ready. The fans were ready. After 15 years, I think it was just
Yeah, it was
incredible.
time.
It was time, man. It was fun.
The cigar smoke. I know the University of Tennessee at Knoxville is to our east, and we don't get our weather from there. But that cloud of cigar smoke, I'm sure did cause a little cold weather down in Tuscaloosa, though.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, it was fun. It's
Yeah.
fun to see Tennessee back on the right track of it too. So.
Yeah, they are. Second year for new head coach Josh Heupel. Is that how you say it? Josh Heupel. Yeah.
That's what we're discussing today. Sports world's just better when Tennessee's good at football. It seems like everything else goes when Tennessee football is going, and you're going to see it translate into women's basketball, men's basketball. It's the same as everything. That really will catapult the rest of all the sports, I think.
It's trended in the right direction for the state of Tennessee.
I mean, there was like the depression has been removed, and people are, hey, let's go to work. I'm ready to do something now. Hey, we're winning.
That's right.
Yeah, get out there and get after it.
Everything's good.
Yeah. So in keeping with the theme, what I was wanting to do is our good friends over at Future Vision Farms, Tyler and Jesse Smith, they were kind enough to bring us plenty of these white pumpkins here. And I say plenty because what we're going to do is we're going to paint on these pumpkins your favorite team logo, your college team logo. Okay, so however you want to paint it, however many you want to paint, maybe I don't know if we have any crimson red in here. We might be able to mix some up. If that's the one you want, we can definitely figure that part out. But we're gonna do that, and ultimately, hopefully you guys are gonna be able to put one together that's as beautiful as that. Yeah. So
I can tell you right now, it won't be that nice.
No. Well, I can't take any credit for it. Tyler, he surprised me with that on my front porch a few weeks ago, and I had to call a lot of people to figure out who that was, because he's a UT fan.
Yes.
So that puzzled me there.
He did a great job with these pumpkins. And
Yeah.
we bought a lot a product at Aiken and Porter.
Yes.
And he does a great
He
job.
does a great job. They are some go-getters. Got a beautiful farm out here in Whitlock. They've got historic clay sheds that they're revitalizing, that they're using for event venues and all sorts of stuff. So really, really fun stuff that they're doing.
You set the bar high with that,
Well,
that graphic.
Yeah. So, yeah, I seriously doubt that we'll get to that level. I don't know though, Brock. You might.
Yeah.
Are you?
It's one of my hidden talents. So
It is?
To show it. Yeah.
That is great.
Yeah.
So we'll just start getting this stuff together, and while we're doing it, let's start. First of all, I see Brock. You've got on. You want?
That's
we
gonna
need
be
to.
a good starting
Let's see if
point
we
for
can.
Brock.
Let's see if we can get this
That
on
don't,
with.
that don't cover
that
enough area
Oh
for me.
yeah.
Look.
No, that could be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Just kind of drape it over there, and
And I might need a hazmat suit if I'm going to get out the paint.
look. We could tie two. Look at you. You look good there.
I like it.
Yeah, I can get one on. Oh, and by the way, I am wearing blue because Kentucky beat our tail, and I'll just go ahead and get that out, right out the, beat my team. I forgot to mention that. All right. So, yeah, my wife is a kindergarten teacher, so these are made for little short people.
I like it.
Little people.
I like it. Well, my littlest, or my only son, is in kindergarten currently, so I'm sure he's at home enjoying this. He's got better skill than I do, so but maybe we can tap into some of that.
While we're getting ready for some of this stuff, and I've got. Caleb, can you come out here and give us a hand on maybe helping us mix some of this up a little bit while we're figuring out what kind of? I want orange. I'm sure. You just.
I don't know if you've got enough orange.
Do we have enough orange?
We can get some.
Yeah.
If it's not enough.
So Brock, This is your first time running
Yes,
for
sir.
office.
First time.
For any office?
Any office, yeah.
mix
I've
up any
been
blue?
appointed to some things locally in our industrial board, things like that. I've been a president of our state chiropractic association, but nothing to the extent of this magnitude, anyways.
Yeah.
Really getting out of your comfort zone for sure.
Well, it is, and you know that's the reason for doing it is
Yeah.
being a representative of your constituents. But the work you've done over there at the industrial board, you guys have been doing some development.
Yeah, we've had a lot of blessed last 4 years. Been exceptional growth in Carroll County, this area, but. It's leadership. It's what we're seeing happening in Nashville, and it continues to come down to the state level or to the local level. What the state legislature have been able to do and produce this state that is business friendly, open for companies to move in, and they're wanting to come to our area. And we have local leaders. We have a county mayor that's exceptional that wants to push the envelope and get these people in. And then when they come, it's just selling them on the community aspect. It's telling them on the things that are special about your unique community and making them want to live in that area, because it's all about loving where you live.
Right.
That's what our city mayor used to say all the time was, if they love to live here, they're going to move their business here. And so that's
I would concur with that.
That's it. Yeah. That's what we were discussing just a minute ago. Paris is a perfect example of that, and I love this community. And it's a lot kind of like Huntington. Huntington's a quality small town, and Paris is the same way. People want to move and live in these areas, and businesses want to come and follow.
They do.
And over the last few years, we've seen it even more so with COVID, and they're coming. So
that's something about people wanting to move into this area. And Tandy, you may have a little bit of a grasp on this. You've been a state rep for one term so far.
I'm still until November. I'm still a freshman.
Still a freshman.
Still a freshman.
So they got you on all the really important committees and everything. Is that right?
Well,
you moved right into being able to.
They put me on the ag, and I felt that was my strong suit. And I also felt like I said transportation. I had a meeting with Keith Carver, and he said, "Tandy, we need a voice, and I need to be able to speak the educational language."
Exactly.
And so I called the speaker back and told him what my thoughts were. I said, "We got 3 higher eds in my district."
Absolutely.
And I said, "I've got to be able to speak the language."
Yes.
And he kind of chuckled there. He says, "I've never had anybody ask to be on education. I've had people ask to get off of education.
Yeah.
But I would be more disappointed if they moved me off of education." I felt like I've learned a lot, and I'm hoping the next go around that I get a chance again and maybe be a little bit more active and vocal.
Well, you hit the nail on the head. You've got Bethel University, you've got the University of Tennessee at Martin.
And then we got TCAT.
And then you've got TCAT. And all 3 of those are huge economic drivers for this area. I know that Bethel has satellite campuses all over. The University of Tennessee at Martin's programs have become better than ever, I would say. I know their engineering program over there has really transformed over the last couple of decades.
Yes.
Top notch.
They've done an excellent job. And definitely, just like what y'all were talking about with Blue Oval coming, and the list is long already with Tier 1 suppliers that are looking at this area.
Tell us about the Tier 1 suppliers. That's a great segue into, a lot of people have heard about the Blue Oval City and the Ford plant and where it's going in, and they say, that place. But down around Brownsville, they might have a little something happen down there. They might build a little something and everything. These Tier 1, Tier 2, what have y'all heard in terms of the development and growth surrounding that facility?
We went down a couple of weeks ago, and they've already started going up with beams. Concrete is in, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot more going on. But to see it actually happening, it's a good shot in the arm for this area.
It is, and these areas. I know Huntington Industrial. You guys have been preparing for hopefully some sort of a secondary service over there.
That's some of the spinoff component. That's what we're seeing preparing ourselves for. A few months ago, Volkswagen came and had an event down in Brownsville.
Brownsville.
That's right.
Yeah, that place. Yeah, yeah.
They came and spoke and talked about all the things they would have done differently 10 years ago when Volkswagen went to Cleveland, Tennessee. So that started changing our minds in those smaller communities of what we need to be doing now. Because it's not necessarily going to be tomorrow. It's going to be 5 or 10 years from
Absolutely.
now when those spinoffs are going to arrive in our community. So it's setting up with ECD, partnering with those guys, getting those site selection positions available and ready, but having leaders thinking 10 years down the road now instead of tomorrow, because that's where the key is going to be.
Yeah, because things, I think what I have seen in the projections and potential projections and potential growth is the transformation to West Tennessee over the next 10 years will be nothing like we've seen over the previous 100 since the railroads really pulled out of rural West Tennessee, a lot of places. And it's something that is here, that's coming, and they're breaking ground, they're building, and we need to be thinking about that 5-10 year mark. How we're going to.
So 5,600 people, I think they're expecting locally,
Right.
You know, and then spinoffs up to 25,000. I think is the latest number I saw, and that tiers as they branch off that over a 10-year period, and that just changes the landscape of West Tennessee. You know, we've been waiting for an opportunity, and this opportunity now is presenting. Which is even more important to get the right leaders in position. You mentioned, you were talking about this guy here, I'll brag on him, he didn't mention it, but first year as a freshman, he was already put up on the calendar and rules committee, which is a big deal for a freshman. So that's what you guys are getting here in Paris, as a representative that stepped in from year one and has already been looked at as a leader in our state. And I think that's huge moving forward, and that's a big deal for our area.
You got a bill through already, haven't you?
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, you've already gone through that process. That sometimes can be a challenge.
Oh, no doubt. No
For
doubt.
freshmen.
Yeah. And that was one of the things there that I don't feel like that's my strong suit, bringing bills. I probably still hadn't hit my quota. We're allowed 15 every year.
Yeah.
I may not have 15 between the 2 years.
Yeah.
You know, it's just one of the deals there that I think we've got so many laws on the books right now, and definitely some of them have got to be fine-tuned. But just to keep bringing and bringing.
Just for the sake of bringing.
Yeah, and,
right?
exactly. And the speaker spoke today at Brock's event and did an excellent job. And that's what, just maybe with enough of the barriers, let's lay out the red carpet a little bit more. And because, I mean, every business in the country finds Tennessee attractive.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to make sure we can go ahead and get to painting, or we will be up here all night. I could talk about this stuff.
Hey, no problem.
So here,
No
there's
problem.
a good one there for you, Brock. Let's see.
Go with three teams probably.
Okay, what kind of colors
Steele's
you
at
want
home
here?
watching, and he is a Purdue fan. My wife is a Purdue girl, so we're going to have some black probably.
Some black?
Probably not many Purdue fans here, but you got to go with some Purdue P at least.
Tandy and I,
we
we've got
share a
some
little
orange over
Orange,
here. So the removing barriers, that was an interesting point or term there, because there's going to be on the ballot in November proposed constitutional amendments to our Tennessee state constitution, and there are 4 amendments on there. And oh look, it just doesn't take much to paint the UT logo, does it? Or at least, you can just get on there and get look done.
That's pretty solid.
That's
hard to beat. That's why I think the P for Purdue should be pretty easy. That's about it.
Look, is that not just exactly the way it looks on the helmets? But there's 4 amendments being proposed, and it's gotten a little bit of attention, but it hasn't been a lead story. And a lot of people, quite frankly, are confused by the whole process and why we're doing it and what's the point. And I think if we could give a little, what you guys have learned or what you have been told as reasons for some of these amendments, because I think about the Constitution, any Constitution, state Constitution, United States Constitution, like open heart surgery. You don't just open it up to give it a check and then close back up. You're in there for something major. And it looked to me like that there's one major component, and it is Amendment 1. And then the other amendments seem to be more of cleanup because
Language.
Yes. Amendment 1 seems to really be the meat. And if you would, Tandy, could you go backwards
Yeah.
into that?
The right to work, and it's a hard yes for me, and I won't back up from that. I think everybody's got the right to whether they want to be in a union or not, and that was one of the things that makes Tennessee unique, and it makes us inviting for companies. And I think that's a hard yes.
It's been a law already since 45 maybe, so it's already been there. So I think the one of the bigger points was just solidifying it in code or in the Constitution to make sure that stays.
So it being a law, it is a law, and that again is one of the questions that a lot of people have had is, well, this is currently in the Tennessee Code as a law. Why go in and perform open heart surgery and add it to the Constitution? What was the thinking behind that? Do we know, or how deep does that go in?
It was, and just like the other three, the language of it, they wanted to leave no doubt that this was going to stick and this was going to stay, and it makes us unique.
It does. Is it unique that Tennessee is, as a right to work state? I think a lot of people have the idea that right to work is an anti-union philosophy. Like, so you bring in, I don't know, think about Jimmy Hoffa and that sort of stuff, about, our visualization of what unions are from gangster movies or something like that. What is the benefit, or is it a benefit, or does it change us as a right to work state?
No, it takes away the question of the employee. They have the right. If they want to join, they can, and if they don't, they're not going to be held accountable with the union views there that might get them dismissed, get them fired. So it levels up the playing field.
Gotcha. That it's something that just needs a little bit of explanation, I think, a little clarification, because it sounds scary. Sounds scary in that not knowing that there was already a law in place, and then to go in and open up the Constitution to make a change like that, it could not real clear on the reason on that.
It's kind of, I'm in healthcare, so a lot of times we talk about when you open a scope, it's always dangerous.
Yeah.
You don't open a scope, because if you open a scope, the next thing you find out is they're taking something else away.
Yeah.
But I think most of the argument, at least on my component, what I see is it's going to allow for a much better opportunity for Tennessee as we move forward to continue to be that place that people want to come to for business, for small business, but invest in the future for what we're doing. And it kind of, like Tandy said, it's setting a tone from the very beginning of this is how we're going to be, this is who we are, this is what's going to make us unique and different. We're open for business. We're letting you have the right to decide if you want to be a part of that or not, instead of being told that you have to. Or
what has been the impact of the big motor plants and them in terms of coming into our state? Are they anti-union, or they enjoy that we're a right to work state? Have we Is that anything kind of come up in conversation?
It has. It was discussed that, because let's face it, I mean, your big Power 3 there, most of them are out of Michigan, and most of the northern states are heavy unionized. And it was discussed there, but I think there were some clawbacks that were put in there that we were trying to protect the Tennessee workers, that, you know, that they just couldn't move the whole plant down here. There had to be some Tennesseans
Absolutely.
that were in the discussion.
Yeah. Another one of the amendments that I think has been a little unclear, and there was a lot of discussion here locally. I think we had some conversation, or a letter to the editor submitted on the amendment about slavery and the what was it, the indentured servant, or being what is it?
That's
basically a slave.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just the language. I mean, everybody knows that it's not right. Everybody is fully aware of that, but it was still in the Constitution there. The wording was still in there. So this was just to clear up the
While we
wording.
got the chest opened up,
Yes.
we're going to do a little bit of refining.
Yeah, and they had to fine tune it a little bit more, because somebody could take that and say, well, if you were a convict, then they were serving their time and they were doing outside work there, that the language had to be cleared up. So that did not take away the inmate's right, if he got good behavior and was able to work outside the prison, that was...
That's different.
It's
That's
different.
Totally
It's
different. Yeah,
Yes.
you're convicted of a crime. You don't owe a life debt.
Right.
You know, like
The servitude.
The servitude, correct. And so that's one of those that is a yes vote. Go ahead, let's make that amendment, clear up the language. And probably somewhat obvious. Can I get some maroon? We got anything that makes maroon? No, we don't do it. Brown, let's see, nutmeg. That doesn't quite look maroon.
I don't know about mixing colors. I don't know how
I don't know either.
Maroon and white.
Tandy's
What
got
is
some
that?
Ole Miss colors over here. This baby blue mixed in.
Well, we didn't have the UTM blue, and that's what I was looking for.
That was the one you
There
needed.
you go.
They'll crucify me on this color blue, but I'm improvising.
That works. Hey,
Gotta have the
UTM goes
skyhawk.
to Knoxville this weekend, so there's always that
Oh,
outside
yeah.
chance, man. That's always an opportunity.
Yeah. There's there's a couple of events. I'm glad you brought that up about UTM going to Knoxville. This week at Thursday, Knott's Landing is celebrating 75 years. Knott's Foods. I said Knott's Landing. I apologize. Knott's Food is celebrating 75 years, and they are sponsoring a tailgate for the football game here that's going to be played on Thursday. And I got to thinking about 75 years ago, what UT did, you know, kind of in conjunction with the big win that they had this week, and then who they're playing this weekend. So 75 years ago, they lost to Alabama 10-0. And then the following week, they went and played a powerhouse, just like they're doing this week. They played Tennessee Tech and beat them 49-0. So it's almost, they scored almost as many points against Alabama this year. They scored 52 against Alabama. Do you think UT Martin can throw a shutout?
Well, it's definitely stacked against them. You know, it's two different divisions. But I think the UTM has got a team there that they're going to put some points on the board.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
can. They've got a great coach.
Yeah, they do. Simpson's great.
He is.
Dresser Wynn, the quarterback, I tell you, he's top notch. Top notch.
They definitely have been doing well. They're looking for a championship in their division. They're not playing around. UTM. They're there to win and go after championships. And Are they having to bring? I was wondering, are they bringing the goalposts from Martin and taking them up there?
I seen Carver put on Twitter today that he was offering that they can come to UTM because their goalposts are fine.
Right.
So
yeah.
you know, I don't think
I
don't think that Tennessee has responded to that, but he offered.
Yeah. Well, since you're on that on the education committee and all that sort of stuff, we ought to be able to, like they did having that game at Bristol. We just have Tennessee, UT come down here and play at Martin. That would be great.
That's it.
500 people can fit in there. So that's,
It would be fun.
one section in Neyland's. That'd be good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Brock,
We're getting a little creative.
look at you
Trying to-
are. I like how you're. It's the style too. Look at
It's a
him.
little hidden talent.
got
We're going
the-
to add a little bit of everything
Look,
here.
you just one hand in
Yeah.
it. You're making sure you got this one protected so you don't get any paint on
Are
it.
you sure he didn't call ahead and suggest this?
I-
He's been practicing for
I've been
a week
working on
here.
this for weeks. This has been our campaign trick.
Oh,
Now
man.
Painting pumpkins for people to earn votes.
So, well, now, Tandy, as a freshman, there has to be some sort of initiation. They send you to the War Memorial Building for your office, and it's really, somewhere else, or.
And I'll tell you, Patrick, that's exactly kind of what I was expecting, but probably a little bit harsher.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say that. The very first caucus retreat that we had, and you get this, you see what's on TV,
Right.
and somebody like myself that had no background in politics,
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, what am I getting myself into?
Right.
And our first caucus retreat was at Pickwick, and after 3 days of being down there and meeting a lot of the people, my worst fear, hey, Darby, get up on stage, tell us what you think.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. I got up there and I said, guys, I owe y'all an apology. Y'all are not what I expected. And it's complete opposite of what I expected.
Yeah.
Y'all been helpful. Any questions I got, you got
That's great.
three people there in line wanting to help. And I thought that I was going to be high-hatted, being from a small rural area, maybe not looked down upon, but just maybe not given the opportunity. And complete opposite. And that's from top to bottom.
You got that to look forward to.
Look forward to.
Yeah.
Man. I think that's a testament to Tennessee. We
Yeah.
have exceptional leadership in this state, and you're seeing that. I think it goes back to what we've been talking about all night. People are wanting to move here. Businesses are coming because they know they're finding out our secret. That's kind of what we've been talking about. They know that we have something special, and it starts with local leaders all the way up to who we're electing in Nashville and how they're handling themselves and how they're conducting business. And it's encouraging. I think that's as we move forward, the next, like we said, 10 years here in West Tennessee, the leadership that we're getting in West Tennessee has been exceptional.
It has been.
Tandy's group, there's 6 or 7 that are West Tennessee legislators, and all are up and coming, all are in positions of leadership, which has never been, I don't think, to that extent. You're going to see things coming west even more so.
I really think so.
It's good.
And to have John Stevens on the Senate side and him be sitting on the budget, hey, that's a feather in West Tennessee's cap.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We were talking about committees and what to be on. We have a state senator that controls the purse strings.
Yes.
Really, I mean that's what that committee does. So.
And even, yes, he is. And to even take that further, to have Kustoff on the Ways and Means Committee, I mean, we couldn't ask for anything better.
Yeah, West Tennessee is poised for growth and great leadership from top to bottom is definitely part of it. I'm filling in some of these.
You're good, man.
Look,
I think one thing I learned.
put it out there we can see. Look,
You may want to put mine in the box.
no, get out here we can see it, Tandy. Don't hold back.
That's
now.
pretty good.
Look, there's his UTM. Here, you show it.
I got UTM, and don't haze me on the colors. This is what I had to work with. And I got Bethel there, and then I got Tennessee. And then in between there, it's hard to make out, but I've got my 5-year-old. I've got Sloan. And then I've got Edie, she's my middle one. And then I've got Tess. And then I know where I've got to go tonight. I've got to go home. So I had to put my wife's name on top there. She's the mother hen of the bunch and keeps us all in check. So I had to include her, and I put her on the top, maybe to get me some brownie points.
That's pretty
when
solid.
I get home.
I just learned everything that I needed to learn about about Tandy Darby and painting that pumpkin.
That's it, yeah.
And here it is. Tandy, you could have painted multiple pumpkins, but he saw efficiency. He saw efficiency. I can just take one
Get all of them
and
good.
get it
Just tie
all.
it all
Yeah,
together. Yes,
yeah.
sir.
That
Yes, sir.
wow, that's good. No wasteful.
No,
Yeah.
no. It's not pretty, but it's the thought that counts. It's
Yeah.
the thought that
It
counts.
does.
Exactly.
Look at
It's the job
that.
done.
Yeah.
That's what one thing I was going to say was, I think what I've found in the short term I've been involved with this is just how approachable all these guys are. And that's what's helped me, not knowing kind of where he was 2 years ago. But these legislators like Tandy, you can just go up to them, talk to them. They're everyday people, just like y'all, run small businesses,
Yeah.
have families. You know, they have small kids, and I think that's where we get disconnected on the federal level. Is, you know, those guys look like superstars, or they're trying to be. And these state level, these people they go to church.
That's
with y'all.
right.
They're at your grocery store. They're your friends that you lean upon. Because they don't know. They know what we don't. We don't know everything. I've learned that quickly. Legislators don't know much at all. They like to think they do, but they truly don't. You get in there. I was amazed at how little some of them do know.
Yeah.
Which is, they learn, but they when they go in, they don't know. That's impressive to me to see that they're everyday people.
It is impressive, and the fact that we do have a state that I think is the best. I'll just say the best state. But you know, I've been around the state legislature and some of the bigger. Look,
That's great.
look at
Pretty
that.
good, man. It's pretty
From a
good.
distance, it looks good. With one eye closed, you can.
That looks great.
Take your reading glasses off and look. It looks great. But we do have probably one of the most conservative state governments in terms of spending, really, for the population size, and do a fantastic job with a lot of our spending. Let me get that up there. Oh. So, Brock, tell us a little bit about, you have your wife.
I have my wife, Krista. We've been
Krista?
married 9 years, and
9
we have
years.
a 6-year-old son, Steele. So he's in kindergarten. That's really my why for when I even got into this. You know,
We should have brought Steele.
should have brought Steele. He'd have dominated. He's at home. Hey, buddy. So that was my why for running. Honestly, is that next generation. You know, looking at a 6-year-old and your kids and your grandkids and those that are coming. Tennessee is great now, but if we don't start thinking 20 or 30 years from now, all those things can be taken away. Your rights can be taken away in a blink of an eye.
There's a picture
Oh,
of
there we
Steele
go.
there.
Yeah, so there's Steele. But if we don't start doing things now, thinking about that generation, that's how it gets taken away. That's how those other states started living in the moment, started living for what they could, spending money like crazy.
Right.
You know, and that's what Tennessee does well. These guys know how to balance the budget, which is great, but also finding other ways to continue to cut, because you continue to cut some of those excess things out of there that we can save, and then save for the rainy day fund for that generation.
What's your vision out there for 10 years? If you get elected and then you do it 5 more times and you're still the state rep down
Yes,
there,
sir.
what's your vision for your district?
I think livability, making sure our area, our district, we hold true to what we are while we're growing. That's kind of difficult. It's hard to stay who you are as you grow. But if we can find ways to hold on to what makes our unique town special as we do that, because that's what people want to move to. They come to Huntington, they come to Paris, they want to live on the river, they want to do those things. And there's an tough balance there, but that's where you got to work with your people and make sure we don't lose that sense of community and who we are.
Right.
And that's hard, but I think that's going to be the key. If we can do that, if I can look back, if I'm blessed to do it for however long, if it's just one term, whatever it is, look back and say, man, we made progress, but we're still who we were at the end of the day.
Yeah.
We're still Carroll County, Henderson County, Milan, and we're all moving in the same direction.
Yeah.
That's,
The people that are coming in, they're going to be coming in with maybe different values, different perspectives. We hope that we're attracting like-minded people, but we're going to have an influx of people that don't necessarily think the way that everybody thinks. But that's not a bad thing necessarily. You know, we like to have new people coming in, new ideas coming in, and how do we how do we accommodate that influx of people into our communities? And what I'm kind of leading into that is the balance that you were talking about between livability and industry, you know, to provide that workforce for those people. Seems like there's some challenges out ahead of us in terms of maybe zoning and schools and some infrastructure that, while our roads, thanks to the governor from your district over there, from Dresden, from McWhirter,
Yeah.
you know, getting all our roads in West Tennessee going, but there's still a lot of other infrastructure like high-speed internet, and being able to get that in. And please, can we really go to the really, really rural areas and not the kind of rural populated areas to get that high speed? You know, those types of things, to keep the people coming in educated and informed and so on and so forth.
That's the hard conversation to have, because those are, you think about infrastructure, they're not the big sexy things of purchases. The underground sewage, nobody wants to see their tax dollars going. They don't necessarily understand that you have to be making those investments now with preparation for 10 years from now. You look around Haywood County, those little towns had 200 or 300 people, and they're expecting to have 2,000 or 3,000 in the next few years. They're panicking because they didn't plan for that.
Right.
Yes. Rightfully so. They didn't think it was going to happen. But we out here are far enough in that tier 2 where we got to start thinking that way now, and putting money into funds and to opportunities to plant that.
Because we don't have an infinite supply of land, even though because we seem agrarian, we seem rural. People are using that land, honestly, for farming, for all sorts of activities. And then when we talk about the sewer, there's a lot of property, especially along the lake, the land that people would think to get developed, that just doesn't have sewer, doesn't have access to sewer, doesn't have really the type of ground that would perk. So, you know, development in those areas that people would want to live in, thinking ahead to draw that in, getting infrastructure down there for sewer and that sort of stuff. And I know that's going to take money, tax dollars, some sort of private investments.
Yeah, those public-private partnerships are huge opportunities if we can present them correctly and get people. You see industry doing that locally, and I think in local communities you're seeing it done. Martin's a prime example of kind of our friend over there, what he's done in that private aspect of giving back to his community. And I guess that's going to be one of the avenues. Yeah, you're probably already talking about that up there, I'm sure, a little more. But
lots of talk about it, and it's definitely going to change the horizon here for West Tennessee. And you got to have that public-private partnership where you do have people that's what they do. They strap the boots on every day and come in and make the infrastructure changes, because it's coming, and it's coming fast.
Yeah, and we already have legislation that was passed a decade or more ago that allowed public-private partnership, I believe, through projects and programs that TDOT was doing. So we have that in place. And what are some of the examples, like you were saying, that you've already done or has been proposed, maybe like in Martin, or are there any thus far that you know of?
Yeah, well, I mean, just like take for Martin, for instance. You know, you've got private groups there. I mean, everybody's been downtown Martin.
Y'all got a big building.
10 to 15 years ago, Martin didn't look like that.
It did not.
And you've got people that take pride in where they're from and want to see it succeed. And that's, you were talking about the people that are moving in. I can't say enough. If I can do what I've done, get out of my comfort zone and try to do exactly what Brock's doing, look at your kids, look at your neighbors' kids, and want to kind of set a foundation, get involved.
Yeah.
Look to be on the school board. Look to be, because there's going to be lots of people coming in that have the same, well, they may be moving from Illinois or California. Well, they may think that they've got a little bit better way of doing things. I trust the people that we've got here to make the right decision and get involved.
That's a great point.
Be vocal about your community, and nobody knows it better than the people that have lived here.
That's a great point, Tandy. Something about those people when they come in, they may bring their own influence and change in the way to, if you think that it's going in the wrong direction and you're just sitting around not doing anything, you got to get out there. You got to get active. You don't have to run for state representative.
No, school board's important.
Yes,
Board,
very
to a
important.
meeting. I was at a meeting the other day and asked, raise of hands, have ever been to a city council? Not a person in the room. Now, they complained a lot about everything, but they'd never been to a city council meeting.
Yeah.
Just go, listen, find out, get engaged.
Yeah.
School board's going to be huge over the next few years. The state's giving more opportunities or more control locally to the school boards, and that's why you got to make sure you're getting the right people on there that are thinking the right way. And it's a great time to get involved.
Yeah, every board, there's planning commissions to be a part of, there's nonprofits, and a lot of those, even though they're not elected positions, they make the community.
Yes.
They absolutely make the community. We talk about a lot of times not depending upon the government, but then we say, what has the government done something for us? And that's where these nonprofits, some of the community leaders do pull together and do things, and like community events. We had not too long ago, Arts Around the Square. The Arts Council here locally did that, brought in people for economic development. There's other types of venues like that people can be a part of that aren't necessarily, you're not making laws and doing the hard work that you guys are going to be doing. Yeah.
Bless the wind, hopefully. But yeah, there's a lot. And I think even the people moving in, that's a serious conversation we got to start having on is unifying communities again too, because they're going to be coming in with different views, different thoughts, not alienating some of them out and realizing they can have some valuable input as well. But remaining true to who we are and why Tennessee is what we are. Our county mayor gave me an example this the other day. Somebody came in, had all these great ideas, and he's like, well, ma'am, you realize all that takes tax dollars and more, and the reason you moved here is because we have low taxes. She's like, oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. She came from somewhere, Illinois or something, had all these great concepts, but it costs money to do all those things.
Yeah.
And he's like, we can raise your taxes. And she's like, oh, I don't want that. That's why I moved to Tennessee.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, well, you had to explain it to him a little differently. That's why you had those things. And why we do things a little bit differently here. So it's communicating and educating. In healthcare, we have to do it all the time too. Educating the people on why this is happening, and kind of building that bridge. It's a lot easier to build a bridge than it is to tear it down.
Oh, absolutely.
And keep going through. So
absolutely. What are some of the other challenges that we as a state, and let's move from West Tennessee for a little bit, even though I don't want to move from West Tennessee. But what are some of the other challenges that we're going to be seeing in the near future as a state?
No doubt. And I know your audience out there, anybody that's traveled here lately, no matter what road you're on, it's packed. And you're going to see that get bigger, more congested, not just going to Nashville. I mean, there's more people on the roads now. We've got a lot more people. And I think that's one thing that's got to be addressed. And I've been in a few discussions, and they're looking at avenues here that, because we're fixing to grow. And I think we're going to grow in leaps and bounds.
And that takes tax dollars,
yes,
as you said. DOT is one of the few DOTs that's not in debt. Tennessee's DOT is a pay-as-you-go DOT. So some of those ideas of public-private partnerships and other avenues like that are going to be a part of that wheelhouse to deliver projects, I'm sure. Unless y'all are planning on going up to Nashville and raising taxes on everybody.
No, sir.
That's not even something to joke about, is it?
No.
Don't even want that in the same clip, right?
I had a guy talk to me the other day, and I hope you don't have many Kentucky viewers here, but he lives in Kentucky, and he made the comparison about how the good people that we're getting here in Tennessee, the people that want to work, that see the advantage of Tennessee. And he said, Kentucky, just take a look at the way our tax structure is. We get the people that are more dependent on the government.
That's a good point.
And, when you sit back and look at it, and this is a Kentuckian, he sees the difference. And, I thought, man, that's a good shot in the arm for Tennessee.
It is really. It's a testament to the state. The state has been growing rapidly, and maybe a lot of people in West Tennessee haven't seen it as much because there has been a lot of growth in East Tennessee, and then undoubtedly the growth in Nashville has been dramatic, which I have seen in my business the growth coming back from Nashville this way. People from Nashville have been coming to Henry County, Stewart County, Benton County to be up and down the Tennessee River. In places that I never thought anybody would ever, ever purchase or develop. But that stuff is starting to happen, and we see that coming from Nashville, and the wave maybe coming up from Brownsville. We're in a good location up through here.
And the numbers that from the census, I have a hard time with it. You look back on it, they say that we lost 70,000 people in West Tennessee. That's just hard to fathom when a small town like Greenfield, where everybody, there's more people in Greenfield now that I don't know. There's no houses for sale.
Yeah.
You can't hardly find anything to rent. Mm-hmm. And there's always been houses for sale. There's always been places to rent. And it was
those
right.
numbers seem strange.
It does.
They do.
But you got to understand I'm trying to explain it to myself the whole time that it was during COVID. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they were knocking doors or making phone calls, but people were a little bit more guarded then than they are. They may not have been letting the information out how many people they have in their house.
That's probably very true.
And so we ended up losing pretty much a district in West Tennessee. So, but it's just hard to fathom when, not that Greenfield's a bellwether of what's going on in the rest of the state, but I just know that I've never seen it like it is in Greenfield.
It's across the state.
Yeah,
we're seeing that. That's what's crazy. We're seeing that in Huntington. We're seeing it in the district there. People are moving in. One thing that we touched on a second ago with Blue Oval that kind of concerns me is, as that grows, 5,200 people, we're already having issues locally with finding help, which is true. As I go and talk to these small business owners, first, people are hiring everywhere, which is great. But if they continue to pay higher wages, they're going to then attract Jackson people, to go there. And Jackson's going to come back and get our Huntington, our Milan, our Lexington people. So we got to be sure we're already thinking now in our schools of preparing our kids to fill those great opportunities we have here in Dana and those guys here in Paris, preparing that next generation to step into that role too, because we want them to live here and stay in our community, but we've got to start thinking too that we could lose some people to those opportunities that we've gained back because the ones that we have here are still, for whatever reason, aren't working or not filling the void that we have. So,
my business, I have an office here in Paris and I have an office in Nashville. And during this growth that Nashville has been experiencing, having people in that Nashville office has been very difficult to maintain because of the rising wages. And the wages have risen on my staff in the surveying field at least $10 an hour, higher than when it was in 2016. That's a group of skilled workmen that, because of this growth, have really benefited, and because I have an office in Nashville, the people in this part benefit from that as well, because they'll say, "Well, I just want to work in the Nashville office." It's better up there. But the pull, I think you were talking about the pull of people going there to work. I've seen that as well, where they have gone from West Tennessee or from other parts and converged on Davidson County, along with the people moving in from out of state as well. So it's really having
It's a tricky step because we have more who can work online. So now we're seeing workforce that are going and saying, I can just work online for somebody in Nashville, live in Huntington or live in Paris.
Absolutely.
So that's taking some people out of the workforce that might be in your office or my office. And so you got to start thinking that too on how we combat some of that. And it's going to be tricky. It's tricky for small business owners, and we're in that field as well, and trying to figure out how you're going to move forward with growth, because growth is tricky. It's good and bad. It can work both ways.
Absolutely. It's going to have its own set of problems. Like remodeling a house while you're living in it. That's what it's like. It
keeps growing.
You know, you got to step over everything, and one day it'll be nice, kind of like building those roads, building the sewer, building the new schools. But in the meantime, we're going to have to, if we want this stuff to come in, we got to be a little tolerant of some of the dust and everything. So
It makes a challenge.
it does. Do you guys want to? Y'all are welcome to paint as many of these pumpkins.
I've done enough damage. I've done enough damage to one. I don't need to mess up.
That's solid. Yeah, that's solid.
Well, my producer was suggesting that y'all do one together.
Oh yeah.
Well,
I got a good question for
Okay.
Tandy. Okay,
All right.
so I was talking to a guy on the campaign trail, and he's like, if you had a magic wand, what would you do? And I was like, oh man, I hate that question, but now I love it. So from a political standpoint, if you're in Nashville, if you had a magic wand, what would you do legislatively that you think would have the most impact or benefit for our state anyways, that you've seen, something that you get caught up on or you get tired of dealing with, or something that could actually impact us positively if you could just get the magic wand to make it happen?
Yeah, if I could get a magic wand and make it happen, the last 2 years has been, if I could replicate that for myself, that I felt like I've done something.
Yeah.
Not anything big. The thing that sticks out for me is coming back maybe my second week, a little lady called me just boo-hooing that it's big for her, her, but just to be able to pick up a phone call, pick up the phone, make the phone call, and she gets her unemployment. She had trouble, the avenues that she'd been going. But if I could wave that magic wand, I wish everybody had that same opportunity to be able to pick up the phone with whatever trouble that they've got, call the agency in Tennessee that they've got the trouble, and bam, and get somebody on the phone, get it resolved. I wish everybody had that opportunity. With what we do, you know, it's great. Besides faith and family, it's the best opportunity I've ever had. But I wish everybody had that opportunity. And just like, when we leave from here, we'll go try to get something here at the drive-thru. We're going to have to wait. Where normally you'd go right through. Everybody is having trouble hiring. Same way at the state of Tennessee. I wish we had, 6 dozen operators that work 24 hours a day. That's not the way that it works.
Right.
And I wish that
not without raising taxes and all that sort of stuff.
And we're not pulling the trigger on that.
Right.
But that's my magic wand. I wish everybody could, whatever ails them, whatever trouble that they had, pick up the phone and do what Tennessee is supposed to do. But it's the way that we are right now, the world that we live in. And so that's my magic wand
I like
potion.
it, man.
That is good.
Yeah. That's the volunteer state.
That
That's
is
what you gotta do.
volunteer. I promised you guys that I had something, and I'm going to go get it.
Sweet.
A good friend of mine, his name's Cletus Renfro, from Signal Mountain, Tennessee. He brought me something this morning, and I've just been anxiously waiting for this. So I'm going to go out here and I'm going to go get it.
All right.
And I'm going to bring it in. All right.
Yeah, we can handle that.
Yours looks good.
Yeah, man. See, it's not bad.
I think y'all had this planned here. You've been
Bethel,
practicing.
Purdue, and Tennessee
There
all
you
in
go.
one. So,
Looks good.
no, see, that's a great concept. Yeah, I love that aspect of how do we make sure.
All
Get
right.
what we
So
Oh, wow.
the goalpost. So Renfro is he was on one of them boats, and he knew that they were going to throw it in the river, so he just went out there and
No
threw it
way.
in, and or went out and hooked it and pulled it up and cut me a piece off, and then look, he got Peyton Manning. He saw him out there at the strip, and he got hit that signature. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a hacksaw, and I'm going to start, cutting out pieces for people.
Perfect.
Exactly.
What do you think about
I think
that?
it's
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah, I mean,
That's as good as it gets.
I'm telling you, it is. And you know, I love that it's got that he ran into Peyton, but you know, Cletus, he went out there and the first thing he was thinking was, do I mark it so I can crappie fish off of it, or do I get them back out? And he thought better and went ahead and pulled it out. Pulled this memorabilia out. So there we go. Look at that.
Man, that's
Highest
great.
bidder. There we go. You know,
Tandy put up the first
there we
$100
go.
for it.
I'm telling you.
Boom. All right.
The phone lines will be lighting up.
I love it. I love it. Well, hey, you guys have been. Come on out here and hold this thing. I know y'all want to touch it. Come out here and get a hold of this.
Touch it. I'm planning on leaving with it.
Yeah, take off with that. I'm so glad that you guys came by, and ladies and gentlemen, we are represented well with our new state rep. We had some lines change, if we remember, so we got Tandy. Thank goodness we got Tandy, and Brock here is on the way up, and he's
Good things are ahead.
Good things are ahead for Brock, and these guys are part of our community. They're approachable. They have our interests at heart, and I'm super proud of Tandy for what he's already done, and I'm proud of Brock for what he's done over there at the Huntington Industrial Board. But looking forward to some awesome things from you guys, and appreciate y'all coming on.
Thanks, Patrick.
Man, we great.
Yes,
Really
sir.
appreciate you letting us out.
Yeah. Hey, don't get too comfortable
good.
now holding on to this now.
We're gonna take it with us.
Take it off. So,
We'll tag team
hey.
this thing out of here.
yeah. Hey, here's Brock's information. He's still an active candidate. So in November,
usually
whenever
no
you're
time.
up there casting your ballots for the governor, constitutional amendments, Brock is running still for
Still
state
do it.
rep.
District 79, which is half of Gibson, half of Carroll, and half of.
All right. Yeah. So, hey, everybody, thanks for tuning in, and thanks for being a part and getting to see our artistic work, painting pumpkins. And remember, don't just have a good day, have a great day. Thank you. What do y'all think about this?
Man, this is
Hey,
good.
It's nice.
You like that?
Yeah.
How you get a hold of something like that? Is that?
You sell it, man. Go put it on eBay. Somebody will buy it from you.
Good
Yeah.
thing the guy was from East Tennessee, because if he's from West Tennessee, he kept it as a problem.